I get better when I'm under the sun. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm under the sun. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and happy fall. This time of year is my favorite. As we start entering into end of September, October terrain, I get super excited. I have not vlogged in a while because it has just been a wild couple of weeks trying to establish routines and procedures. We finally completed our first week with math centers and reading centers done independently, and it went really well. I really take my time introducing each center before I release the students to actually do a rotation on their own. And I love it when they finally become independent because it allows my teacher time to be so much more effective. The students that have teacher table with me are able to get really good in-depth interventions and instruction, and that time with my students when I just have a small group of 3 or 4 kids is so precious to me. Some huge wins for this month have been some procedures we've established with our phonics. One thing that I created for my classroom were some phonics review slides, and this has helped them start practicing the skills that we're learning each week in phonics. So we start out reviewing short and long vowel sounds, and then I had slides that help them to practice that skill. So for example, we would have 2 words on the screen, and I gave each of my students a whiteboard, and it was their job to write down the word that had the short vowel sound. And we did that for several days. And then it switched to hearing the long vowel sound. And that was really fun for them. So after we spent some time reviewing short and long vowels, we moved on to teaching digraphs. And that was a really good skill for them to review. And obviously this is something that they introduced in 1st grade, and we're just continuing to solidify that knowledge in 2nd grade. With my phonics slides, we would focus on 1 digraph a day. And so if it was the SH digraph, I had slides that had SH words. So 1 word on the screen did not have an SH digraph in it, and 1 would. And they would have to listen as I said the words to hear the digraph in the word, and then they would write it on their board and draw a picture, and my students love this. It's such a great, almost like a brain break for them, even though they're specifically looking for their phonics skill. It's just fun for them to be able to have a chance to be on whiteboards and to draw pictures, and I love getting to celebrate them as learners and as artists, and this incorporates both of those activities in one. So then after we did a lot of digraph practice, we've now moved on to trigraphs, and they're doing a great job of hearing those 3 letters that make 1 sound. And I love the connections that students make outside of our formal lessons, because I will have students during Read to Self come up to my teacher table and say, Miss Mac, I found a digraph in the word, or Miss Mac, I found a trigraph, or Miss Mac, that word is a short vowel sound. So it's really fun to see them apply their learning into their Read to Self time, and when they're independently working on word work activities for them to make those connections. It just makes my heart so happy. And I know if you're a teacher or a parent, you just delight in your kids getting it and they're independently using those skills on their own. It's just the best. Something we've done in math that was really fun is we've been talking about first just basic addition and subtraction fluency. This group is really struggling to know their math facts, and so we're just doing lots of review games, finding fun songs on YouTube to help them find patterns in their addition and subtraction. So there's a great double song on YouTube and a near double song and partners of 10, and those are all great strategies for them to help systematically recognize more math problems. And then obviously place value is such an important component of any math instruction at this early level, and so we did a big place value unit, and one fun thing we did to celebrate our learning at the end of that unit is we had a snack party with that incorporated place value. And so M&Ms represented the ones, pretzel sticks represented a collection of 10, and then the Cheez-Its were a collection of 100. And so they had to build numbers with their snacks, and they delighted in that. And I had one little girl, and she lifted up both of her hands and she said, "Miss Mac, this is the best day ever." And that is just such a joy to hear from students when they are authentically celebrating their learning, loving their learning, engaged in their learning. And so we loved our place value little party with our fun snacks. And we've also been practicing looking for different ways to make numbers. And so one thing that I project at the beginning of my math lessons as a warm-up is something called what's a question? And the way it works is I pose a number on the board, and they're supposed to come up with solutions that would give you that number as the answer. So often in math, we have an equation and we're asking them to find the answer. But with what the question, it gives you a number that's the answer, so to speak, and then they have to write on the board different ways to get that number. So if I put a 10 on the board, they could put 5 plus 5, 8 plus 2, they could do 12 take away 2. So they can do addition and subtraction, they can draw tally marks, they can do place value blocks to represent 10. One other huge lifesaver for the month of September were my digital slides. I love having slides because they keep me on track, they keep me focused, and it also helps mitigate some of the questions that students have. With my slides, I have a way of displaying icons that show what students need for an activity. So rather than having to tell students, get out a pencil, get out your notebook, or you'll need base 10 blocks for this activity, I actually have icons that I can drag into my slides and project, and it just cuts down on a lot of questions, and it helps my students transition faster. And that's been a huge success, a huge time saver. And at first you have to explicitly kind of direct students to look at the smartboard for the answer to the question of what they need. But once they're used to that routine, it saves me so much time, and it's just handy to have. And it makes transitions and getting started in activities just a lot faster and more convenient. And on top of that, it's just happy. Like when they walk in and they see these happy, glittery worker bees, it puts a smile on everybody's faces. And I can't wait for October because I have a lot of fun Halloween slides that I can't wait for my students to see. And I hope that they think that they're really cute because I think they're adorable. Thank you so much for watching this video. I so appreciate you taking the time to hear about what's been happening in my little second grade corner of the world. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you know that you are loved and appreciated and a person of immeasurable worth. You matter to me. Have a great week. Bye.
I like it better when I'm under the sun.